How are you guys doing? This is Ryan, welcome back to the channel. In this week's video I want to talk about crypto and how it acts during time of crisis. Cryptocurrency was actually birthed out of crisis. Bitcoin was first announced in 2008, 2 months after Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy here in the United States. And now during the crisis today of the war in Ukraine with Russia invading, I wanted to see how that was likely to play out for cryptocurrency and how it's been playing out so far, and if this will change my general thesis in the short term and long term of cryptocurrency. Full disclaimer, I am bullish on the short term of cryptocurrency, which is becoming a less popular thing to say, but I still am. I still don't think we had a parabolic run this cycle. So I really haven't taken really much profits because I'm waiting for much higher prices. And if we don't get it during this cycle and I'm wrong, I'm okay with waiting until the next cycle. But the question is, does this crisis in Russia change my general thesis? So with that said, let's jump in the video. So the question is, how will an asset class like cryptocurrency trade? Certain assets like commodities, gold, silver, and also bonds perform really well during times of crisis when people flee to a safe haven asset, right? Then you'll see things like speculative investments like growth stocks, smaller cap stocks. They will perform very badly during these times. So what's interesting about cryptocurrency, it's kind of a combination of both, I think, when you look at it, where you have something like Bitcoin trying to be a digital gold, an alternative money system that could potentially do well during crisis. If other systems are falling apart, then maybe they'll want to adopt a crypto system, a cryptography system. So you would think this would be bullish for crypto. But also you have to look at crypto throughout its history. Crypto has traded alongside of the stock market through a lot of moves, and it still seems to be more speculative and volatile. So I kind of see it as a hybrid of both. And that's really fascinating to me. So I want to go through our crypto's short history and see what we can learn. And as I mentioned, Bitcoin was birthed at a crisis, and what you saw for the first handful of years coming out of that crisis was Bitcoin just trying to get its feet and kind of creating its own crises rather than responding to like global financial crises, if you will. So you had Bitcoin first gain popularity on the Silk Road with people transacting on there to buy things on the black market, and that whole thing collapsed, and Bitcoin suffered a steep decline because of it, but it's also what gave it reason to have value, right? Like people wanted to use this currency, therefore it had to have a value and people would trade with it. So it proved its use case, and it was also a crisis when it fell apart. And then in 2013, you had cryptocurrency starting to get popular, and its most popular exchange, Mt. Gox, actually was hacked and fell apart. The whole thing was a tragedy, and a lot of people who I've spoken to that were in crypto at this time, like a lot of them thought like maybe crypto would die here, right? Like the largest exchange got hacked, so many people lost all their Bitcoins, and so many people were really discouraged. But from there, Bitcoin specifically back then, because there wasn't really any cryptocurrencies aside from that, and they started to come throughout time. And as I'm saying that, I think I should plug here, like guys, this is not financial advice, this is my own research on the topic here, and this is what I plan to do with my money. You need to decide what's best to do with your money. So not financial advice, there's a disclaimer. But after the Mt. Gox crisis, crypto and Bitcoin proved to be very resilient. It was really the Greek Referendum in 2015 that was a crisis, and also Bitcoin thrived in. A lot of people don't remember this, but during 2015, essentially the country of Greece that uses the euro did not have a very solvent economy. It was borrowing a lot of money, couldn't repay its debts, and the rest of the euro was like, this is not fair, we have to bail you out. They've had to do this in the past. So they said, look, if you want to stay a part of the European Union, you need to face some austerity measures. You need to clean up your act, and then we'll help you out. So what you saw playing out here was a crumbling in the current monetary ecosystem and Bitcoin rising. So Bitcoin, like in a very short time, in like a month time, shot up from around $200 at the time all the way to $280. It would crash back down, but by the end of the year, Bitcoin was over like $500. So you have to say during this time, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was successful during a time of crisis. And just the general thesis of using a different monetary system is appealing and grows more opportunity when people are reevaluating the way they do things currently. And especially with monetary policy, if you go back to early Satoshi Nakamoto writings, the founder of Bitcoin, was that the problem with the current conventional currency system is it relies on trust of other people not to debase and ruin a currency. It's just a simple code that exists that says this is how many Bitcoins will get mined into existence tomorrow, in 5 years, in 10 years. And it's just a fair system where you're not trusting someone else. You don't have that counterparty risk that exists. And then from here, I couldn't really find any other major global events that cryptocurrency or Bitcoin reacted to until we got to the pandemic. So 2015, you had the Greek Referendum and the Eurozone clamping down, and then Bitcoin went into its 2017 bull market, which a lot of crypto cycles so far, I really believe, is predicated on the Bitcoin halving cycle. So briefly, with the Bitcoin halving cycle is every 4 years, Bitcoin will have its mineable supply. And what that does, it creates a supply chain to the system. So if every day approximately this many Bitcoins are purchased, you have demand just stay constant, then one day you just have supply fall here, and then the price just skyrockets up. This was a genius thing that Satoshi Nakamoto wrote into the code, and this will have a diminishing effect over time, but it also allowed Bitcoin to become the world phenomenon that we know today. Largely because you had so many people getting rich fast, and when people are getting rich fast, they can really romanticize the investment and get ahead of themselves in terms of its market value, and that's why you kind of have these big run-ups and big crashes down, but overall we know the trend of cryptocurrency is up. So moving on to the pandemic. So the pandemic proved to be bad for just about everything. I recall this because I remember Bitcoin falling to $3,800 and also Ethereum came down to like $90. I know because I bought some. I think Bitcoin Cash came down to like 110. Bitcoin Cash didn't fall as hard as a lot of the others, and I think Bitcoin Cash just has a very resilient group. A lot less speculation goes on there, but also a lack of speculators to pump it up a lot too. But as you can tell, I'm a Bitcoin Cash fan over here. So crypto did not prove to be a safe haven during the global financial crisis. Also, the stock market performed very poorly. Gold, silver, pretty much everyone did not know what was going on. People could not work, and they just generally needed some cash to pay their bills tomorrow. You know, the ability to think that far ahead at that time was very difficult because literally the economy was getting locked down. So where crypto did not perform well during this time, nothing really performed well. It was just survival. The whole world was getting locked down, and that's the way I saw it. But not too long after that, the crypto market exploded. So you had Bitcoin fall to $3,800, and now just 2 years later, it's at $39,000. You had Ethereum fall to $90, today it's at $2,600 at the time of recording. So you could say in the moment it performed very poorly, but also probably all that money printing along with the Bitcoin halving cycle coinciding with it allowed the price to move parabolically. Now let's fast forward to today. Unfortunately today we're in time of war with Russia invading Ukraine. Now with a lot of the talks leading up to it, you had the crypto market performing poorly along with the stock market. They were kind of moving in pair together into a downtrend. And it wasn't until I saw Ukrainians get donated $30 million in crypto that we saw something different happen here. We saw where Bitcoin was crashing down to about $37,000. You saw it push up into the low 40s, and at the time of recording, it's at $39,000. So Bitcoin is actually up since the invasion, the Russian invasion. So you actually have crypto performing well during this time of crisis. Gold is also performing well, bonds are performing well, and stocks are not. That's fascinating. I don't know if this trend is going to continue, but I do think it is fascinating that during times of like, you're going to have banking issues and shutdowns and all this chaos for both Russian and Ukrainians going on, that the utility of crypto, be able to move money around fast, cheap, reliable at any time is very convenient. I'm not going to wait for the bank to open on Monday to get money to pay my rent or my groceries or something. I don't have time. I'm in time of war, time of crisis. I need things fast, cheap, and reliable. And also trust is a huge problem right now. While Russia is the attacker here, and they're obviously in the wrong to do so, the people of Russia don't reflect their leaders per se. And they are suffering from their native currency, the ruble, falling by 50%. So by them holding cryptocurrency, they would be in a much better position today than holding their native currency. So crypto versus the Russian ruble is performing extremely well. And certainly over time, as more crises happen, more people will see this. They will see that crypto is a better currency than the one I'm holding, because I don't have the risk of my government going insane and attacking another country and spending a ton of money on military arms, money they don't have. So I generally think more people will find the reason as to why, this is why crypto exists. In times of crisis, the current monetary system allows war to happen like this. It allows governments to be able to print money to finance whatever they want to do. And they can destroy my purchasing power on their decisions, where with crypto, you do not have that. I don't have to worry about the trust on someone else in a faraway city to not debase my currency. So crypto will just continue to find more and more people that didn't have a reason to adopt it before because their lives are moving just fine. And I always tell people, you don't need crypto until you need crypto. And that happens to a lot of people. And boy, are a lot of Russian people feeling that today. Guys, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. It allows more people to see the video. And if you want to see more crypto related content, just subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell. YouTube will notify you every week when I upload. And if you want to come and follow me for daily content, I'm very active on Instagram. My handle over there is rgiffen89. I post there pretty much daily. So in summary, I do not expect this crisis itself to have a huge price impact on crypto. And if anything, it can be a positive thing for the price. Like, this is a horrific situation, but crypto is a tool to empower people with destabilization in their life and issues with governments, right? So in going through our history, again, looking at the Greek Referendum back in 2015, crypto reacted positively. During the COVID crash, I would say it did not react such a way. In the long term, like eventually, yeah, but immediately after, it crashed very bad and probably worse than most assets. And so far for the Russian invasion, it has responded positively. And guys, if I'm missing anything, please let me know down in the comment section. I am sure I am missing things that I just didn't see a huge reason to bring to attention. But if you do or have, I want to learn from that. This is a community. We can all share our thoughts. And these are just the notes that I've done on it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll be back next week. And hopefully we get more positive developments out of the Ukraine-Russian crisis. And hopefully this war does not last very long. So thank you, guys.
I'll see you in my next one.